Hi there, Carl. Massy here, coach, strategist and author of a few books, and welcome to one of the videos in my series of 5 videos where I'm doing some training for coaches, want-to-be coaches, maybe coaches just starting out, or even coaches that have been along a ways that might be interested in hearing some different philosophies from me, because I've been coaching now for over 10 years. I also started counselling when I was about 19, 20 years old, when I was in the military. So I just turned 51 a couple of days ago. So 30 years in this space of whether it's leadership, whether it's management, whether it's working with teams and that sort of thing. I'm going to be talking today about the business and some of the things that I've found have been most useful for the business. So a bit of background for me. So I was in the military for 14 years then, and towards the end of that military career, I was doing some studies, and I was studying a Bachelor of Management Professional Studies, and one of the subjects, or one of the minors that I did in that program was marketing. So I studied events management, marketing, as well as all these management specific things. So I've always been interested in marketing, and that was, over 20 years ago that I finished those studies, and I've since then been reading, and I've always been interested in how things are marketed and how someone succeeds in their business or doesn't succeed. So it's always been a fascination for me. When I left the military in 2001, I went and worked for the Olympic Games. So I got into the space of consulting and security consulting. So that was not necessarily into business. It wasn't until 2007 when I left that consulting that I got into business. So that was when my coaching, I started my own coaching practice. I created a company. I had some different brands, and I've had lots of different brands and products and things over the course of times. I've written 4 books. I'm on my 5th book now. So lots of different things along the way. I've also been a co-owner of a yoga center, like a significant yoga center here in Bali, and I was involved with that, first working as a business coach to the 2 founders for about 1.5 years, and then they invited me to join the business. So I was involved with the business for 3 years as well. So I've been involved in physical business. I've had my own businesses. I've had my own products, and I've done lots of different things within this space over the last 10 plus years. So again, that's where I come from when I bring some of these business specific things. One of the things at the yoga center was on the yoga teacher training courses, I would teach a subject called the business of yoga, like how to create a yoga business, whether that's as an individual or whether that's creating a yoga center. And I've done business coaching for a number of years as well. So again, that's what I bring to this conversation about how to succeed in a coaching business. And one of the things I teach on the course, The Business of Yoga, is there's 3 circles that overlap for me when it comes to business success. The first one is we need to have the skills in whatever it is that we want to create our business in. So in the case of us, it's a coach. So I need to have great coaching skills, but that isn't enough. The next thing I need to have is business skills. And this is where I think most people fall over. They don't work on their business skills. And the third piece is I need to have the mindset and personal psychology to succeed. Because a lot of times it's this psychology that will keep us in the game when we have those setbacks, when we have those failures, when we have those rejections or whatever. It's my personal psychology that will keep me in the game. This is my belief about why most businesses fail, is they don't have the emotional fortitude to actually stay in the game for long enough. So they're going through challenges, they're trying to work things out, there's obstacles, there's trying to figure stuff out, and it gets too hard for someone. They don't have the intestinal fortitude, the strength, the resilience, the grit, all of those things that are required to persevere to make the business successful. So most people will leave before a couple of years is up. Maybe a lot of people will leave before a year is up, or around that time frame, because it is really hard setting your own business up, particularly if you're doing it for the first time. The other business I didn't talk to you about that I also have been involved with, I was a co-owner in a boutique hostel here in Bali, and it was a complete and utter disaster. Blew all my money, years of emotional pain being involved in this thing. It was like total disaster. But we learned from those. Well, we have the opportunity to learn from those if we have the mindset that everything is an opportunity to learn and grow. So again, I've learned from having those failures along the way as to what I need to do to create success. And there were so many things we did wrong. So what I've done is I've said the amount of money I lost on that was probably the price for a really good MBA. So I call that my business MBA, an on the ground, real time MBA. So that's what I bring into this conversation. So for me, those three parts, skills, business, personal psychology, are the keys to business success. And if I use a metaphor and or example, so someone who's really good at baking cakes, sets up a business, a cake baking business, or selling cakes in their business. And they're really good at selling cakes, but they're crap at business. They don't get it. They don't understand the money in. They don't understand the money out. They don't understand marketing. They don't understand positioning themselves. They don't understand pricing. They don't understand all of that stuff. Their business is likely to fail. So we need those two things as well as this personal psychology. So a lot of times when I work with someone, and particularly when I take someone through the coaching apprenticeship, I'm building up their business skills. I'm building up their coaching skills. That's a given with part of the training I do, but I want to build up their business skills as well. I want to teach them to get better at marketing. I want to teach them to get better at pricing things. I want to teach them about getting better at how they put a proposal together. What's the wording of that? What's the layout of that? What's their relationship? How do they have business conversations? How do they have tough conversations within those business conversations? So all of those things are necessary. So we need to study the business. And again, I'm just looking at my notes here. So just to close out those three pieces, so I need to work on my skills as coach. I need to work on my business skills. I need to work on my personal psychology. So one of the keys to business success is actually working on yourself. And I talked about this in one of the other videos where I talked about I want to be in the right state of being to go into these coaching conversations. So I need to work on myself. So I do about 2 hours every morning of work on myself, whether that's physical activity, whether that's meditation, whether that's journaling, whether that's planning out my day, whether it's doing some productivity things. But I'm doing these things to prepare myself for it. So again, business success is skills at whatever it is I'm doing, coaching skills, business skills, I need to learn those, personal psychology. If I don't work on the personal psychology, if I don't build up my grit, my resilience, my persistence, my discipline, and all of these, my productivity, my ability to influence, like if I don't work on those personal skills, I'm unlikely to succeed at the business at the level that I have the potential to be. So that is key to success in business, working on yourself. Now let's get into some, practical things. I'm not going to talk about every single thing that I've learned that I know along the business thing. I'm going to touch on a couple of things. And one of the things is when it comes to marketing the business, one of the best forms of marketing is word of mouth. But it might be that takes a little bit of time to get to the word of mouth. It might mean that you need to skill up and have a high level of competence so you're able to coach at a level where people are going to tell other people about it, and that starts this word of mouth. And that is the best way for you to sell your coaching services, particularly if you want to charge higher prices. It is about getting results with your clients and those results being so great that they tell other people about it. That is the best way that you can market your business, is word of mouth. The next way is, and we're in this digital age, we're in this internet age, we're in this social media age, we're in lots of different platforms and lots of different mediums, whether it's writing blogs, whether it's vlogging, whether it's doing videos, whether it's doing posts on your social media, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Pinterest, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on all of these different mediums. what you need to do, rather than trying to spread yourself over all of these things, and don't listen to marketers that talk about you needing to have a presence in lots of different places. I think it's more important to decide on which is the platform that is most conducive to the demographic that you want to work with, and that's most aligned with yourself. Like, if you really enjoy using a particular platform, then let that be your platform. It might be LinkedIn as your thing and you feel most confident and comfortable doing that. It might be Facebook, it might be WhatsApp, it might be Pinterest, it might be a whole bunch of other ones that I don't even know about, because I'm not chasing after having myself on all of these different platforms. I'm principally word of mouth. And then I might choose a particular platform, and it might change over the course of my business. I don't have an Instagram account. I don't like sort of just the pictures and the little bit of text. I want to have deeper conversations with people. So that doesn't fit for me. And my demographic is maybe not spending their time on Instagram. So that's not the platform for me. Facebook, I spend a little bit of time there, but not too much. What I find is my greatest way of connecting and for people to get to know me is writing blogs. And I've been writing a newsletter, a blog, since 2005, so 15 years. The other one for me is writing books. So I love having deeper conversations with people and then them wanting to reach out to me. And for instance, my book, I might sell those books on Amazon. I forgot Amazon. I might sell those books on Amazon. Me as an author, I might get $1 or $2 per unit sold. So I need to sell thousands and thousands of units to make lots of money from that. Or I can have that book and I can, give it to a potential client who reads it and says, yes, I want to work with you because I've read your philosophies. I like the way you talk. I like the way you move. I like the way you think. Let's work together. That might be a $5,000 or $10,000 contract. I need to sell 5,000 books or 2,500 books to make the same amount of money. So I use this as my medium, my communication thing for a client to get to know me better. So when that person gets to know me, then they're more interested to step into conversation. So that's one of the next things is, what's the medium that you use for someone to get to know you, to get to know your philosophies, and to start building up trust. And it's once you've got trust with those clients, then they're more likely to reach out to you and want to have a conversation and want to do some coaching with you. So find what medium works with you. And again, I said, I like to blog, and I've been doing it for about 15 years. So I send out a newsletter every 2 weeks. And I write an article whether it's 800 to 1,000 words. And I go deeper because I like going deeper on things. So some of these social media platforms, which just have a small soundbite of information, like that's not me. I want to have deeper conversations because I want to work with people who want to go deeper. So I'm using the platform that's most in line for me and most likely to reach the person who I want to work with, who wants to have those deeper conversations, who wants to have those intellectual conversations, those heartfelt conversations, who wants to go deeper, who wants to go on this path of evolution. So I might write about things about evolving because I want to work with someone who is interested in the evolutionary process. So again, I don't spread myself over all of these different platforms trying to reach everyone in every different nook and cranny. I selectively choose the platform which is aligned with me, aligned with the demographic that I want to work with, and reaches them in a way that starts to build up that relationship with them, that trust with them, that interest within them. And I play this long-term game. I'm not worried about closing the deal right in front of me. Because I might have a conversation with someone and I might have a deeper conversation. I might end up having a half an hour conversation, and decide it's an unpaid conversation for that client. And it might be that client starts working with me straight away. That's great. They might work with me somewhere down the track. I've had people reappear after I've had a conversation with them 5 years ago. So again, I play the long-term game. If I have a conversation with that person in front of me, it might be that they recommend me to someone else. So even though I didn't make money off that conversation in front of me, it led to a conversation with someone that they've referred, which might lead to something much bigger. I always am in the service game. I want to serve that person in front of me. So I just know that I'm spending, as I'm doing that, I'm like sending this energy around, and that energy comes back around to me. So again, I don't get caught up in closing the deal then. And a lot of times I might have a conversation with someone, it might be an unpaid conversation, and then they come up with something completely unexpected. They might say, hey, I'm working in this company and I think you'd be great to come in and do a presentation with my team. Is that something you'd be interested in doing? So it might be that I get a $2,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 contract as a result of something completely different that I hadn't even intended to get out of that particular conversation. So this is where we need to be, not in the needy space. There's a great book called The Prosperous Coach, which I recommend you read because it gives you a different philosophy about how to create clients and how to market yourself in a particular way. And one of the things I love in it, this terminology that he uses, or a statement he uses, saying, needy is creepy. So if I'm in front of a client and I'm doing the needy thing, like I need their business, I need their money, if I come across like that, the client picks up on it. And they start picking up in the idea that this person sounds like they need me and my money more than I need them as a coach. And they won't be your client. Needy is creepy. So you need to serve that person in front of you in the biggest, broadest way possible, deepest, and being not committed to thinking that you need to get something out of that. So it's okay if that person says yes, awesome. If they say no, awesome, because you're not caught up into that transactional thing that needs to occur in that moment. You're not trying to sell and hard sell. Well, that's my philosophy. If you are interested in the business of, just interested in making money and selling things, I'm not the person to work with. I'm the person who wants to create people in front of them that become greater human beings. I'm in the game of making the world a better place. I'm in the game of serving humanity. I'm in that space. That's my philosophy. So I only want to work with someone if I think I can truly serve that person in front of me. If I don't think they're the right fit for me, or I'm not the right fit for them, I tell them, look, I might not be the right person to work with. Maybe you find someone else who's more in this space. I had a client not so long ago who reached out to me and I'd been referred to him and that sort of stuff, and he had particular financial goals. And I sort of came back and said, look, if you're just into the financial stuff, like, that's not me. I'm not a multimillionaire. I'm not interested in money in that sense. I like it as a byproduct of doing awesome work. But if you just want to work with someone who's about, hitting monetary targets, that's not me. That doesn't jazz me up. If you're trying to change the world, make the world a better place, that jazzes me up. I'm in. So I ended up just having a conversation with this client, telling him that I'm not the right person to work with, but I ended up doing a little bit of coaching with him in the conversation. And this person wanted to pay me money. I said, no, you don't need to pay me money. He wouldn't take no for an answer and ended up sending me a bunch of money, because in that conversation, I wasn't attached to trying to get them as a client. I was interested in serving them in the best way possible. So again, that's one of the keys to succeeding in this business as a coach, is coming from a place of service. Not what can I get from that person, how can I serve this person in front of me? And being interested in the byproduct of you serving someone is financial flow. There's no doubts about it. The more you serve that person in front of you, the more you add value to that person's life, the more you're going to create financial flow back towards yourself. But it's the byproduct of doing this work. So again, that's my philosophy. And if that philosophy doesn't align with you, then we have different philosophical ways of approaching this thing called business. So there's just some general ideas about business, about marketing, and finding the right people that you want to work with and making sure you resonate with those people. And being okay with saying no as well. So I've had clients that wanted to work with me and I'd sort of like, no, I don't think we're the right fit. So no, let's not work together. Maybe let's revisit this thing in a year's time when you've done a little bit more inner work on yourself. I think you might need to do some more inner work so we can have this conversation at the level that I now want to have this conversation at. So again, I'm selective about the people that I want to work with. If you have any questions, any businessy related questions, any marketing questions, anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out. Go to my contact page or carl@carlmassy.com. You'll reach through to me. Happy to answer your questions. If you want to have a deeper conversation, then we'll look at what that might look like. And if you're interested in an apprenticeship program, which not only looks at training you up in the coaching space, but also goes into the business space and also supports you as you build your business up, that's what the apprenticeship is about over a 12-month period. So it's a powerful period of time, because a lot of times people finish a training course but don't have that support at the end. And that's the thing that is the game changer. It's not just the skills, it's actually the application of those skills and getting feedback on what's working and what's not working as you start down that journey. That's where an apprenticeship most supports people when they're going down that particular place. So again, if you'd like to have a conversation about apprenticeship, if you'd like to have a conversation with me about anything to do with the coaching and the business of coaching, don't hesitate to reach out and get in touch. I'd love to support you and serve you in any way possible. If you work with me, awesome. If you just got something out of this video and don't choose to work with me, that's awesome. I wish you all the best on your coaching journey. I think this is a beautiful profession, and done ethically, done authentically, done with integrity. It's a powerful thing to make the world a better place. So wishing you all the very best wherever you are on this beautiful, gorgeous, incredible planet of ours. Have a fantastic day and take care.